are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
host of Locked On Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. As always, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and you can email us, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Well, Ulises, it is a somber morning here as your Tampa Bay Rays lose 6-4 in 13 innings to the Boston Red Sox last night, and the Rays are now playing for their playoff lives as they are down 2-1 in the best of 5 ALDS.
Disappointment does not cover it. It's unbelievable that the series has turned the way that it has.
Yes.
After game one. I mean, after game one, this team just looked ready to just get it over with and go to the ALCS. And then the last two games, that's playoff baseball. That's why every inning is important. That's why you can't take off any innings. And I just have this thing, and I don't know if the fandom will agree with what I have to say, but that's just how I'm seeing it. I feel like the last two games, there's been a lot of Kevin Crash involved. There's been a lot of a manager who has been in the postseason before, forgetting that he has been in the postseason before. Forgetting that in the postseason, when a game is 2-3 runs away, it's still gettable. It still should be chased for the W. It's not the regular season where you can just put the B squad. If it's a 2-run game, it's a 3-run game, and you're in the 6th inning, 7th inning, you're just going to throw that one away when you only have to win 3 and you're at home and you have an off day the next day and your best pitchers haven't pitched in a week. Really? And that's only game 2.
Yeah.
That's only game 2. I don't know if you agree with me or that. I understand not chasing W's in the regular season. I have subscribed to that. I have changed my opinion on that. Fine. It won 100 games. Fine. Don't chase W's in the regular season. You have to chase W's in the postseason. Like, that's literally the game. Like, that's what you have to do. You have to avoid losing. You can't just give a team like the Red Sox, here you go. Here's my W, Kevin. Here you go. All wrapped up, all really pretty. Here's Michael Walker.
What specifically in game 3 is your issue, or was your issue, with Kevin Cash or Kevin Crash in this scenario?
Well, I was actually speaking about game 2.
Okay, game 2.
But for game 3, let's move on to game 3.
Look, I agree, but let me just say this about game 2.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have an opportunity to talk about that game, it being on a Friday. But I did highly, highly disagree with putting Matt Whistler in the game. Tie ball game, a guy who's pitched maybe 2-3 times in the last 2 months.
Thank you.
And isn't comfortable throwing his slider in practice and warm-up sessions without getting sore. So you're bringing that guy in cold turkey. And yeah, he came in and threw 7 pitches and got 4 outs yesterday, but that was a lot of hard line drive outs.
It took Austin Meadows' top 3 web gem in his career for him to not be hurt by that line drive. Look, so yes, I do feel like there's been some Kevin Crash in game 2 and game 3. Now, if we move towards the page to game 3, and you tell me what specifically, well, I'll tell you this. How is it that throughout the season we were all just so happy about having MLB's best catching duo? And duo means dos, two, de, zwei, in German from our German friends. Schweins. Okay. What happened to Francisco Mejia? Is he actually hurt and can't possibly put the spikes on? Because in that case, maybe say that, or keep it hidden so the Red Sox don't know. But you're not using him in over 30 innings of baseball. Over 30 innings of baseball, we have seen one measly at bat by Francisco Mejia. I don't know if Francisco made a dad joke Kevin Cash didn't appreciate. He's hurt. I don't understand. But I'll tell you this. In the last 7 games of the regular season, Francisco Mejia's slash line looks like this. 20 at-bats, 450 average, a 542 on base, and a 550 slugging. Just completely take that guy out of the equation. Just completely. And give 31 innings or more to Mike Zunino, who has been fantastic behind the dish, yes. Kevin, and is in the 90th percentile in framing when Francisco Mejia is in the 8th percentile of framing. Okay, sure. But 31 innings just straight to Mike Zunino, that just hurts Mike Zunino's output as a hitter because now his legs are shot. He has no legs. He has no legs. You haven't kept him fresh. That's why Mike Zunino was Mike Zunino during the regular season, because he had Francisco Mejia to keep him fresh and to not drop off value in that position. I don't understand why Mejia has not seen any more than one at bat.
I think some of it has to do, or a lot of it has to do with the pitcher's comfortability throwing to Francisco Mejia. We said this on Grain Room, and I know this doesn't paint the whole picture, but the framing, the catcher framing is a stark difference in favor of Mike Zunino compared to Mejia. The last I checked, I think Zunino was in the 94th percentile and Mejia was in the 8th percentile. I am okay. I am fine with keeping Zunino in at catcher. What I'm not okay with, what I'm not fine with, is not finding a way to get Mejia at bats. Whether that is in the DH spot, whether that is taking over for Lowe at first base in a particular situation. I'm fine with leaving Zunino at catcher, and I know it's been a lot of innings over the last couple days and games. I'll be curious to see what they do today after the 13 inning, 5+ hour output.
Maybe you wouldn't be worried about today if Francisco Mejia had caught 3 innings,
yes,
game 2. If he had caught 4 innings yesterday, then you'd be like, oh, Zunino, and then whatever. But you've basically handcuffed yourself into a decision for game 4, where you have to win. So the obvious thing to do defensively would be to put Mike Zunino. Yeah. But again, if Mike Zunino is tired because his legs are shot,
right,
then he's not going to give you anything at the box.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Now, I will say this. We're not trying to make this anti-Mike Zunino episode. He did go 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. Yeah. One of those, I think he got squeezed by the umpire in the 8th inning on a fastball outside that happened to some of the Rays righties. And then he also worked, I thought he was going to get into one when he worked that 11-12 pitch at bat against Nate Eovaldi. Nate Eovaldi, I think, gave the kitchen sink to Zunino. Everything. All 5 pitches, all 4 pitches, whatever it was, and he kept battling. And at the very least, it ended up being an out, and I guess an unproductive out. But in a way, you worked up the pitch Eovaldi's pitch count and got him out of there sooner than maybe expected.
No, and this is it. It's not Mike. I'm not going against Mike Zunino. Yeah. I think Mike Zunino has done a wonderful job behind the plate. In fact, if you call pitch calling, the bullpen did a tremendous job yesterday, where they basically did not allow anything after the 5th until the 13th. So
against the Red Sox lineup at Fenway Park.
So you got to give kudos, but I'm not giving kudos to Kevin Crash here, because he's the one that's doing the lineup. He's the one that's got to put people in a position to succeed. You're not really putting Mike Zunino in a position to succeed when you've given him 31 straight innings of no rest.
Yeah.
Of no rest, which is exactly against what he did in the regular season when he was productive. And we kind of have seen the same thing happen last year in October, just putting Nick Anderson over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like, that's why is Kevin Cash doing this in the postseason? We talk about depth of the Rays so much. The Rays are so good because of their depth. Look at that. One guy goes up, one guy goes down. And in October, it's like Kevin Cash completely obliterates the depth and goes, no, these are my guys. No, this is my same lineup. The guy doesn't repeat a lineup in 162 games and repeats a lineup in the postseason. Why does he take what worked in the regular season and completely throws it out in the postseason? I don't understand. I know we're running long for the first segment, so I just want to kind of end it on this. If there's one guy that if things go south in this postseason, we're going to have to highlight him, and that's Brandon Lowe.
Oh, boy. You mentioned it. His batting average is 0.000.
But I'm not even talking about the disaster that the 2021 postseason has been. In 109 at-bats, 109 at-bats, his batting average in the postseason has been 119. His on-base percentage, 172, with an OPS of 438.
Yeah.
109 at-bats in the postseason. He has done zilch. This is the guy who was the MVP in 2020 and who knocked 39 home runs and 99 RBI in 2021. Some people have it in October. Some people don't have it in October. I'm not saying he doesn't have it in October, but I might.
Yeah, it might be getting to that point, and or the Red Sox are just executing him to a T of change-ups and off-speed and breaking stuff below the zone and capitalizing on his aggressiveness, not throwing a belt-high fastball in his wheelhouse, basically keeping away from that. And
that's the game of baseball.
Yes.
Adjustments, right? They're hitting me this way. And then also Kevin Cash should probably have a say in that. Like, they're really executing against Brandon Lowe. Maybe I should use my depth. Maybe I should pinch hit here. Maybe I should change things up a little bit.
This might be a situation where, and didn't Brandon Lowe try to bunt with 2 strikes yesterday? That is the scenario we're in, folks.
Yes.
I would be shocked. It is Eduardo Rodriguez supposedly starting tonight's game. So I would imagine if Brandon Lowe is in the lineup, he would be towards the very bottom of the lineup. We'll continue this discussion, but first we've got to tell you about DirecTV Stream. DirecTV Stream is a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. And the best part, there's no annual contract. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That is directtv.com. Well, Ulises, getting back to last night's marathon of a game, and I think we said this in passing yesterday, it was a very rough and unfortunate night if you're a Rays fan, but if you're a baseball fan, you had to eat it up. You had to eat up all those 5.5 hours and all the back and forth and the nail-biting action and so forth, but it just seemed like this is playoff baseball where a bounce of a ball, a bad break can cost you a series. During a 162-game season, those things even out for the most part. They get washed out. They get flushed out. But in a wild card game, in a 5-game series, even in a 7-game series, those things become magnifying moments. There were so many instances yesterday working against the Rays. The obstruction call or no call between Randy Arozarena and Kyle Schwarber, the ground rule double quirky rule thing that went against Kevin Kiermaier and Yandy Diaz, Manny Margot maybe having his foot off the bag for a very, very split second and led him to being out. Mike Zunino and some other Rays hitters getting squeezed by the umpire. There were a lot of things working against the Rays seemingly, and it ends up not working in their favor, clearly.
If the postseason is supposed to carry more weight, is that what there's more umpires? There's 6 umpires in a game in the postseason. That means that they want more eyes in those games because they're more heavy. There should be more brains than there too. There should be more common sense in there too. That when there should be judgment calls, those 6 brains and 6 pairs of eyes should be able to make a determination on what happened on the field. The Red Sox get 2 huge non-judgment calls go for them. Number one, which basically boiled down to the same point. If you are made to look like you didn't do something on purpose, you get rewarded. I'll say it again. If it makes you look like you didn't do it on purpose, you get rewarded. Kyle Schwarber didn't see Randy Arozarena. No, yeah, he must be thinking about quantum physics, obviously, and so he got lost in thought and forgot that there was a runner who just hit a ball in the outfield and is trying to get to third, and he just saunters over to the base running path. Oh, I didn't see you there, pal. Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoops, my bad.
And if you're a first baseman, that is one of the easiest things to do and pull off, to kind of do that deke and say it is a gamesmanship thing to the nth degree for a first baseman to be able to do that. And honestly, kind of smart on Schwarber there.
100%. 100% smart on Schwarber. But again, Red Sox Nation is going to say, look, he doesn't even play first. Did you see his toss? Yeah. Okay. Fine. Just because you don't play first, that doesn't mean that you don't have baseball IQ.
Right. So that is one situation. So are you saying that Renfroe did the other thing?
No,
on purpose?
I'm not saying he did that on purpose, but I'm saying you've got overhead cameras. You've got 6 umpires on the field. You've got StatCast speed information. You've got StatCast arm information available. Like, you've got the technology to actually have the call right. So when you have overhead cameras telling you that the ball is over there and Yandy is 2 feet away from third base, you know Renfroe's arm, you know his speed, you've got the overhead like he was going to score even if he did somersaults. A couple of them, just to, and flex a little bit, boom,
right,
boom. So how is it that when you have that information and the 6 umpires, this is what gets me though, 6 umpires, what the hell are they there for?
Twiddling their thumbs, trying to give the Red Sox an edge here.
I don't understand why you have 6 umpires if those 2 extra pairs of eyes are not going to help at all.
So what you're saying is MLB needs to address this rule or these rules and change these rules and give the umpires some discretion.
I mean, you have to have some sort of judgment, some sort of common sense. You can't just say, nope, that's it. That's the line. Because if that's the line, then we're screwed, man.
Yeah.
We're screwed. You like Kevin Kiermaier said in the post game, it would be completely okay for Kevin to just get a double, 100%. But Yandy gets to score there, and I've seen a lot of freaking tweets, unfortunately, saying, "Well, it was a 2-run bomb, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway." Yeah, because Pivetta is going to completely be the same guy with a runner on second, right?
Yeah,
with Zunino at bat, and he just gave up the lead. Like, that doesn't affect his mental psyche at all, right? No, and then that doesn't give Patino some extra confidence of we're about to close this out. I don't believe that to be true.
Yeah, and I think we also learned with that play there, and not to, I mean, we might as well have a couple laughs here, but if Kiermaier can't hit a home run there, I don't know if he hits another home run again in his career if it's not a little league inside the Parker. I mean, you're talking about 106 mile per hour exit velocity, 22-degree launch angle, 381 feet, and a very short fence that ball had to go over, and it still doesn't go out.
How did that
it's Kiermaier.
How did that?
It's the Kiermaier curse. And by the way, great hit by Kevin Kiermaier, but we also, in some great plays by Kevin Kiermaier during the course of the game with his glove. But we also have to acknowledge this may or may not have made the difference in the game, but he made a really off-color bad throw to Zunino where Kyle Schwarber was able to give the Red Sox a lead, and it made it 3-2. Yeah. I mean, that's just one of those things over the course of the game. I do want to ask this before we move along. What do you think, Ulises, was more devastating to the Rays and Rays Nation? Last night's 13-inning 6-4 loss, or Friday night's 14-6 loss, where the Rays had a comfortable lead at one point, and then the wind was just knocked out of the sails of the Rays and the fan base, and it inevitably became a clunker game. And the Red Sox evened up the series at 1-1 at that point.
So what you're saying to me is, would I rather get punched in the face with somebody's right hand or somebody's left hand? I don't know, Kevin. Are they
would you rather get slapped or really knocked down?
Yeah, I don't know. Would I get kneed with the left? Yeah, I don't.
Can I just say this? I think losing Friday's game was a snowball effect.
I believe that this team is very strong and has come back from really crappy adversity that they have encountered during the season. Having said that, the last two have been two gut punches in a row.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to say the boxing thing again. For those who if you see Mike Tyson's early like 80s, early 90s highlight reel, and he just comes out of nowhere with that left hook up, boom, man, that's what it's felt like.
Yeah,
it's not fun at all right now to be a Rays fan. So if you make me pick, I guess I'll go yesterday, just recency bias. But we were at that game on Friday. Was I a happy camper, Kevin? I don't think so.
You were early. Talk about a change of emotions so quickly. And that was a game, and I hate to go back to it, but I think it has to be acknowledged. Like, you chase Sale after an inning. Luplow hits a grand slam. You make the game 5-2. You should win that game.
You should win that game.
You bring in Kittredge at that. He's pitched in every single situation, every single inning.
The game is getting away from you. 5-2, 5-3, 5-4. And you put in Whistler, you put in Waka. You choose not to chase a W in where you have to chase every W. Every W is what matters. You only need 11. Yeah. You only need 11. The problem is that you can't lose 3 in a row, especially in the first round. It's been very exhausting, very disappointing. But there's one more game.
Yes, there is.
There's one more game.
At least one more game.
Hopefully more than one more game. And you know, if that's the one more game that we have to focus, we'll focus that on the third segment. But before that, I just got to tell you about Built Bar. I got to tell you about Built Bar.
That might raise the mood a little bit for the Rays and the Rays fan base.
Yeah, let's take a break here, folks. It's been disappointing, but you know what's never disappointing? Chewing Built Bars. You know, they've got so many flavors: double chocolate, salted caramel, strawberry, cherry barcia, raspberry, coconut, cookies and cream, German chocolate. I mean, the depth of flavors is just unbelievable. And you know what? If you can't decide on a single flavor, you can get a mixed box and you get 2 of each of the 9 flavors. So that's incredible. They're healthy. They're delicious. They've got 17 to 18 grams in protein. The calories are ranging from 130 to 180. Only 4 to 5 grams net carbs. Only 4 to 5 grams sugar. Amazing flavors. They're all tasty. They're all healthy. So you guys know what you got to do. You go to built.com. You choose your flavors. Once you do that, don't hit complete purchase. No, we got a promo code for you. It's LOCKED15. That's LOCKED15. And you get 15% off your order. Somehow, hopefully, we get 15% off runs by the Red Sox today. Because we need it. We need this W. So go today, use LOCKED15 as a promo code on Built.com and get yourself some really tasty, delicious, healthy Built Bars.
Okay, Ulises. We talk about must-win games a lot. This is absolutely a must-win game.
Yeah.
Or we're doing player reviews pretty darn soon for the Rays. So let's hope the Rays keep winning here and give us some excitement.
I can't move on to the offseason just yet. I can't.
Yeah.
I refuse to. I refuse to. You know what? If Rays Nation, which, unfortunately, now the whole Twitter thing, it's become kind of like anti-social media. I love that you came up with that.
Anti-social media. That's what it is.
A lot of Rays fans are just screaming doom and gloom, and I understand it now because of the last 2 games. But guys, they're still alive.
Yes.
They're still alive. They still got one more game. They've faced so much adversity, like I said earlier. It's okay. I am going to do, you know what? We're in Halloween time. Mm-hmm. If I had to wear a costume today to watch the game, I would put myself at the Titanic captain costume. If this ship is going down, I'm going down with it. I'm going down supporting it. I'm going down clapping my obnoxious, loud clap. That if it should be in the Guinness, it should be in the Guinness Book of Records. My clap by decibel levels. My Randy. I'm gonna go down with it, baby. I'm supporting this team. I believe in it. I think they can come through. I cannot believe, Kevin, that they were going to go 1, 2, 3 L's in a row against the Red Sox. I refuse to believe that.
That's a good point. I hope. I mean, if this thing does end in the ALDS, if the Rays do lose this series, we will look back on this like The Sopranos. Great anthology, crappy ending.
That's fantastic. Oh my God.
Great run. Great seasons 1 through 6.
Yes.
Man, those 100 wins were awesome.
Yes.
But man,
that finale, you can
was dookie.
Yeah. Dookie indeed. Yeah. But you know what? I was hoping to get a little bit of happy news this morning and seeing who they were going to start today. And it wasn't the guy that I was expecting. I was expecting Martin Perez. It's not Martin. It's actually Erod. They're going Erod again from game 1. So we'll have to deal with that.
Well, I wonder if Tanner Houck would be available. Nick Pivetta definitely isn't going to be available.
I mean, I guess everybody would be available for the Red Sox. But if I'm Cora with my Rays bias in the back, I would keep Tanner Houck for game 5. Just like I think Shane McClanahan should probably be the guy that they keep in the back for the Rays. But Rays speaking, I'm expecting everybody to be available except for maybe the man of the match yesterday, David Robertson.
Yeah, David Robertson, believe it or not, threw the most pitches of any Rays pitcher yesterday. So, yes, while the Rays used, 9 different pitchers, that doesn't mean most of those guys, if not all of them, theoretically could be available. Like, I wouldn't even be shocked if it came to it and you had to roll out Rasmussen after throwing 33 pitches yesterday. If you have to roll out Shane Baz, I mean, that could be very well a possibility.
I like that.
Fleming is available. Kittredge will be available. Fairbanks, I don't know if you want him to be available, but he could be available. Fireeisen, Whistler, Chagua, Patino. Patino only threw 15 pitches. So I know there's some, they depleted the bullpen. Well, not really, because a lot of these guys didn't throw a ton of pitches.
And so that's the good thing, right?
Yeah.
They didn't throw a lot of pitches, but how strict are the Rays into, we don't want to disrupt their routine? Yes, Drew Rasmussen was a reliever and now has been converted into a starter. Is it too much to ask him to bounce back? I think so.
I agree with that, but also, isn't this the whole thing of be ready when you're called upon? We're not going to have a closer.
Yes.
Kittredge, you're not just our 9th inning guy. You're a 4th inning guy. You're a 6th inning guy. You're a 11th inning guy.
You're a guy that we don't use for a week, even though you're our best guy.
McHugh, you'll be an opener. Sometimes you'll be a 2-inning closer. So
I mean, look, I can tell you the guys I'm expecting to see today, which is Colin McHugh, Peter Fairbanks, and Kittredge. Those 3 guys we're going to see today. After that, maybe Fleming. Maybe Fleming can provide a couple innings there.
Right.
That's it. That's all I got for sure. Those 4 guys. Can you add any other names to that?
Did you mention McHugh and Waka? Because those are the guys that are
Waka, you think?
tabbed to. That's what I'm hearing anyway.
McHugh, Kittredge, Fairbanks, and Fleming. Those are my 4. But you want to add Waka to that?
That's what they're saying is they're going to maybe go with Waka here.
Well, Waka didn't pitch. He pitched in game 2, correct?
Yeah, that was the clunker game.
So in 2 days rest. Maybe like a little bullpen sesh. So
yeah,
he can provide you 20 pitches
and that's why I'm saying even Shane Baz could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Like you
look right now you gotta win. Like you can't. I mean, how many?
You can't manage for tomorrow if there's no tomorrow.
And the best thing about it is that you got to travel day in between, so you can rest these guys at least for one day. And you know what? Kittredge and Fairbanks got a whole week's worth of rest. Thank you, Kevin Crash. So then I think they're available, and they're available to pitch as long as they should be.
Heck, if they wanted to really get creative, you could technically put like Whistler on the IL and bring in a Dietrich Enns or a Ryan Yarbrough if it came to that. Now you would have them out for the ALCS if it came to that, but again, you got to find a way to get W here.
I mean, and they don't chase W's. I bet you're going to chase this one now today. You got to chase it. I'm so angry right now.
Yeah, I can tell. Do
you think the listeners can tell that I'm angry?
And let's be honest. Not going to go too inside baseball here, but it's not just the game. There's some off the field issues we're dealing with. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
What is your confidence level, 1 to 10,
coming in
of tonight's game?
I said Red Sox bullpen is trash. I'm going to love it if they ever go into a bullpen day. Where the hell is that trashy bullpen?
Well, I almost don't even consider like Tanner Houck and Nick Pivetta bullpen guys. It's just they're being bullpen. I know. I was thinking more Matt Barnes or something along those lines.
Yeah, where are those guys?
Yeah. The Josh Taylor kid.
The Josh Taylor types, look, they've performed. And that's the unjust thing about the playoffs in baseball. It's like, 3 L's, boom, you're out after a 100-win season. So my confidence level, man, I'm going to go with 6.5.
6.5. Okay. So
10 is uber confident. Like there's no way they can lose. 1 is like, I'm not even watching the game. Yeah. I'm at 6.5. How about you? I'm
at about a 4 right now.
Oh man. So we basically, when you even out the hosts of Locked On Rays, we're at a straight up 5, just a coin flip.
Yeah. I just think that the Red Sox are maybe a little bit better than we bargained for or thought after game 1 and then what happened in game 2. And I consider that, they've been playing playoff baseball the last 3 or 4 weeks.
That's true.
The Rays, not saying this is a bad thing, but they were able to take the gas pedal off.
Yeah.
A little bit. Had some days off. And the Red Sox had the whole COVID adversity where they had like 20 guys on the IL at one point. So to navigate through that, and then you've got a lot of guys on the roster that have a lot of hardware, have a lot of experience in the playoffs, have a lot of rings. Like
Kike Hernandez has never played in a team that doesn't reach the postseason. Like that's insane. Like Kyle Schwarber broke a curse.
Right.
Bogarts, Devers, those are all World Series champions.
Sale.
Nato Eovaldi, Sale. It's up and down, and it's really frustrating. You got a guy like JD Martinez hobbled up, still getting 3-run home runs.
Although JD, please, like not every fly ball is a bomb. I know you're hot, but like every ball off the bat, you would have thought he was
majestic.
Yeah, that was 320 feet, bud. That wasn't going out of the ballpark.
KK's just like looking at his card gate, like
yeah.
And okay, that's an out. Yeah, it's
now when Christian Vasquez hits one, then we like I almost thought Yarbrough was on the mound yesterday. Like, wait, he didn't get one off Yarbrough, off the Green Monster, over the Green Monster, because that's usually what happens there. That's the problem. We have to acknowledge this. A lot of rookie pitchers.
Yeah.
A lot of rookies.
And I kind of, every month or so, I think I have a revelation on what Neander actually meant when he said transition year. Mm-hmm. I have yet another revelation. I think I actually now cracked it on the transition year, what that actually meant. It meant this is a really good team for the regular season.
Yes.
And that's what matters to just get into the playoffs, because after that, it's whoever gets hot. That's what the Rays philosophy is. Always be competitive, because the playoffs, anything can happen. It's a transition year because you expect these 4 guys in the rotation to be young and affordable for the next 3 to 4 years. They're going to take their lumps. Make them take their lumps in the postseason. If they get through it, awesome. If they don't get through it, they'll be better off because of that experience next year. That's what the transition year actually meant. It means we're not going to get any big starter in the free agent market. And I just already see it, Kevin. The Rays Nation tweets about, oh, we just got to get this guy. Oh, can we just get this starter? Oh, we're definitely, we're in talks to get this starter. We're not going to get a starter. We're not going to get a starter. That's what transition year means. We're gonna go with Shane. We're going to go with Shane. We're going to go with Luis. And we're going to go with Drew for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yes.
That's what that means. No $10 million starting pitcher is going to come through these doors.
Yeah, your free agent acquisitions in quotation marks are Yanni Chirinos and Colin Poche and Jalen Beeks. Those are your guys.
Yeah,
those are your guys. Okay.
Wait.
Yes.
Before we go, let's pick up the mood a little bit. Let's pick up the mood. So I just want to get something positive. 30 seconds. Tell me. I want to hear from you, Kevin. What has Wander Franco meant to you in this postseason?
Oh my gosh. He is the one guy that the Red Sox have to strategically do mound visits for. He looks like a guy. This looks like his 12th postseason appearance. He is, I would venture to say, maybe the most feared batter against the Red Sox right now. Like, this is, I'm going to say it right now. I know this is hyperbole, but what I've seen over the last couple months and the playoffs, the last couple games, not just the it factor, but if he stays healthy, if he continues on this track, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
I mean,
100%.
I mean, he just looks like baseball is what he was meant to do.
Yes.
Like, you see people in high school like drawing, and they like draw like perfectly. You're like, oh my God, that's an actual human being on the paper. Like, how can you do that? That's what I'm like seeing from Wander Franco. I'm like, oh my God, how do you get that take?
Yes. Whereas Brandon Lowe swings at every breaking ball known to man, Wander just.
Like,
Wander, and he will wait you out. He will wait out for that mistake.
And he
3-1, don't throw a fastball.
And if he can, Kevin, the most beautiful thing about it is that he will waste a pitch. He's like, okay, foul it off, next for the next one, and that's great. But Brandon Lowe in the postseason looks like he thinks he's getting paid per swing.
Yeah,
bro. It's okay to put a Willie Adames sometimes and put that bat on the shoulder sometimes, you know?
Yeah. All right. I guess we got to do it. Score prediction for this game.
Oh, my. Listeners, can you write on YouTube your prediction on the comments? I want to hear from you guys. Go watch us on YouTube. Give us a like. Subscribe to it.
Who knows? It might be fired after this.
There you go.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Score prediction. I'm going to go with the Rays are going to let in some runs, but the bats have to wake up. It's a damn Little League park. 6-3 good guys.
I hate to do this, but I
think don't. I don't need that anymore. And people listening to the show do not need that either. So just sign off.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, Ulises. I'm going to sign off.
Thank you.
I'm not going to give my score prediction for who I think wins.
Everybody should be the captain of the Titanic. Put that sailor cap on. We're going down. If we're going down, we're going down clapping.
I was going to dress up as Stu Sternberg for Halloween, but I like your idea too. Maybe a little bit of both. Thank you again for making the Locked On Rays fun. Sorry, this has been a wild episode.
Oh yeah,
wild episode.
One to remember.
The Rays do it to us sometimes. Thank you again for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen every day, and we will be back tomorrow. In the meantime, be sure to check out the Locked On